What's good, y'all? I am the dating pool guy. Today, we are reacting to a very interesting video right here. The commander's wife forces a servant to fulfill her desires while her husband is away for months. Insane. Once again, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. As I always say, man, I'm trying to grow this channel. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving dating advice. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving reactions, you know what I'm saying? Well, the advice is coming, so we'll wait on that. But yeah, man, just enjoy the content, man. I'm definitely going to be doing more on this channel, and I want to grow it, you know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's see what's going on.
It's 1976, and
Okay.
Mu Guang has been assigned as the army cook for the commander's residence. He's working for Commander Pai, to be precise, and he's been drilled that serving the commander's house should be taken as seriously as serving the country. Commander Pai is a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield, a hero, and he expects perfection. Mu Guang is a hard worker. He has sworn to be diligent in his field, and while his comrades often tease him for it, Commander Pai takes notice. His efforts pay off during the ubiquity reduction campaign. Many workers are struck off the roster, but Mu Guang is spared. Mu Guang goes on about his duties. The commander's wife has taken an interest in him, but she tries hard not to let it show. On one occasion, she swiftly hides her binoculars before Mu Guang sees her, pretending she's just standing by the window, lost in thoughts. One day over dinner, the commander tells his wife he'll be gone for a month on a top-secret mission. He has his resentments about his current position in the rear division, but his service on this mission could propel him to something better. Mu Guang is cleaning up the fireplace while Su Ryan is in the dining room. Suddenly, she picks up the plaque and drops it, causing Mu Guang to rush to retrieve it. She beats him to it and tells him that moving the plaque means that she needs his assistance. On a different day, Mu Guang finds the plaque on the stairwell railing, but he remembers he's not supposed to be on the second floor without Commander's Pai orders. He decides to follow Su Ryan's orders and reports to her room. Her room is dark, and she asks him to help with the overhead light switch. Her other request is that he refers to her as Noonim when it's just the two of them. Being in her room makes him uncomfortable, but he can't leave without her permission. Su Ryan asks him about his greatest hope, and he divulges that he'd like to get promoted so his wife and child can come live in the city. Eventually, she lets him return to his station, but not without letting him know that whenever she moves the plaque, he's got to answer. Mu Guang comes back from the fields to meet the plaque out of place. It's late evening and he hesitates, but Su Ryan wants him to follow her upstairs. She decides he'll need to wash up before he attends to her, so Mu Guang dutifully goes to do that. When he reports back, her room is enveloped in darkness, and he pleads with her to turn on the lights. She refuses at first, but when she does, he averts his eyes because she's scantily dressed. With her permission to
All right, here's my thing, bruh. This is a tough situation because on the one hand, you know, he has great respect for his, you know, commanding officer and stuff. And then, I mean, on the other hand, no, on that same hand, he doesn't want to lose his job, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wants to be promoted. But on the other hand, he has to attend to this lady and she could easily lie. And I've seen that a lot, as, you know, you've seen that a lot in media where some people be lying. I say people because men and women both be lying on other people. And so this is just a tough situation because it doesn't matter what he says, especially in this time period. He doesn't have camera. He doesn't have like audio. You know what I'm saying? He can't record with the technology. So it's her word against his word. You know what I'm saying? And so if he doesn't, it's a tough situation because if he doesn't do anything, she could say he did something. If he does do something, she could still say, oh, he did this to me. You know what I'm saying? And she might say she won't say nothing if he does something, but she could still rat him out. So this is a tough situation, man. Also, I mean, it's tough that, you know, she chose him because, well, she is the commander's wife. So I was like, I mean, she shouldn't have to force nobody. Like, she could do what she wants because she's not a bad looking lady. But the fact that he is her assistant, I mean, he's the commander's servant. I mean, not his servant, but you know what I'm saying? Like, because he works for the commander, like, he's closer. Like, the commander trusts him to be in the house and he's gone. So it's a tough situation, man. Don't tell me what y'all would do because I already know. Keep the comments respectful, man. Keep them respectful.
speak. He admits that he's scared of the commander and the party. Su Ryan is disappointed and walks out. Mu Guang knows Su Ryan is trying to seduce him, but he takes pride that he resisted her temptation. Su Ryan complained about Mu Guang to his commander warden. She wants the warden to fire and replace the cook. The warden confronts Mu Guang about his poor service, but Su Ryan obviously doesn't give the commander the full details. Mu Guang has until the next morning to change Su Ryan's mind, or else his life is ruined. 5 years earlier, Mu Guang ran a fertilizer production company, while the owner was sick. He couldn't enlist in the army because he had to care for his sick mother. But when the option to admit her to a hospital arose, he was finally sent out. Those who didn't join the army faced discrimination. Serving the country was seen as the highest honor. Mu Guang's mother wanted a daughter-in-law before her passing, but for that to happen, Mu Guang needed to get promoted to an officer in the army. His fiance's father took pity on him and gave out his daughter on the promise that Mu Guang would eventually get promoted. He was in the restroom feeling sorry for himself when he overheard that there was a job vacancy in the commander's residence, and it's a fast way to promotion. He managed to catch the warden's attention and got the job as a cook for the commander's residence. Now that position is hanging by a thread. Mu Guang tries to get back in Su Ryan's good grace, but she proves difficult. He's bound by his oath to serve his people, and dutifully strips off his clothes when Su Ryan demands him. It's the only way he won't get fired. Unclad, she still threatens him, and he does what she'd hinted at from the start. He goes down memory lane while he's intimate with Su Ryan. Su Ryan wants him, but his wife doesn't. She just wants him to get promoted.
Okay, now, oh man, this is where we run into some difficulty, because if he's not wanted at home. See, this is why it's dangerous, bro. When you get in a situation where you're not wanted at home and someone else wants you, like, cheating, like I always say on this channel, cheating is never the answer, man. I will say, when you're not taking care of your spouse, you're not doing, your marital duties and stuff like that, you do run into this situation where if somebody else wants you, you don't want to do it, you know what I'm saying? But if it happens, like, your loyalty starts to decrease a lot, where you're like, well, like, they don't want me, and you know what I'm saying, they feeling me, and both, you know what I'm saying? And so it just builds and builds and builds. Ah, man, this is tough.
Satisfied with Mu Guang's work ethic, Su Ryan tells the warden not to send in a replacement as discussed. On his way to the market, Mu Guang decides to stop for a smoke. A comrade approaches him and teases him, grabbing his privates. The comrade knows the commander is away, and that means Mu Guang can mess around with his wife. Mu Guang punches the guy in response and threatens to be more violent should there be a next time. Next time comes, but he's the one at the receiving end. Several soldiers beat him up and he's told not to snitch, or else there'll be consequences. Mu Guang tries to end his affair with Su Ryan, but she proves to be more—
What? Yo, okay, so in the thumbnail, it's this thumbnail where she has a gun to somebody. But I was like, surely, you know what I'm saying, like, forcing, she is not going to, the gun is for something else. She wouldn't put a gun to him. This is crazy, especially because of how attractive she is. This is crazy. She don't need no gun, bruh. But let me rewind a little bit. Yo, this man is just going through the struggle, but I respect him because he's pushing, man. He's pushing through, you know what I'm saying? He knows where he wants to get to. Now, the wife that he has, well, that's for his dying mom to have have to be married and have a daughter-in-law. Wow, that's tough. That's tough, but she's just like about the clout. Like, his wife is about the clout. This woman is crazy, and then his crew people, they've already teased him, and then he got jumped, and now he has a gun to his head. This is crazy. I feel bad for my guy right here, but a gun is crazy. That's insane.
More dangerous than all his comrades combined. They have sex, and his Newman seemingly passes out afterward. A billion thoughts race through his mind as he contemplates what to do, but she eventually wakes up and he scolds her. Su Ryan mentions fate doesn't scare her, and she has no regrets. Mu Guang shows up late for his duties the next day, but Su Ryan isn't mad. She believes it's her turn to serve the people. She's made breakfast and feeds him with it. She goes on to take care of him, clipping his nails, balming his wounds, and swabbing his ears. He learns she can't leave the residence, and she believes it's not because Commander Pai values her, it's because he doesn't want to get divorced a second time. Mu Guang successfully sneaks her out of the barracks and buys her a pair of shoes because she has none. They explore the countryside and return home to explore their bodies in the laundry room. Commander Pai returns unexpectedly, and he can't be fooled. He shoots Mu Guang, intending to hurt Su Ryan as well. Mu Guang jolts out of bed and runs to the commander's residence. He finds Su Ryan crying because she had a nightmare. She promises to promote him to an officer and wishes he were her husband.
Wait.
And return home to explore their bodies in the laundry room. Commander Pai returns unexpectedly, and he can't be fooled. He shoots Mu Guang, intending to hurt Su Ryan as well. Mu Guang jolts out of bed and runs to the commander's residence. He finds Su Ryan crying because she had a nightmare.
Hold up, y'all.
She promises.
Yep. Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, bye. Okay, go on. Sorry about that, y'all.
Is to promote him to an officer and wishes he were her husband instead of the commander.
Where'd he shoot him?
Over drinks, Su Ryan tells Mu Guang how she came to be the commander's wife. She was a female soldier who caught his attention with her intelligence. His manhood got injured during a war, but he still pleaded with her to marry him. Commander Pai calls Commander Warden to check on his residence. The warden gets there and peeps through the window. What he finds is a drunk Su Ryan making Mu Guang do silly stuff. The rain drives him away. If he'd been there any longer, he'd have seen something more shocking. While running errands, Mu Guang learns there's trouble at the border. That explains why his comrades were at the training ground earlier, some getting loaded on a truck. He returns to the residence with an air of entitlement, and it leads to a brief argument between him and Su Ryan. The tension dissipates after sex. Mu Guang wants to quit his job as a cook and work on the base because he can't face the commander when he returns. The barracks are empty, meaning Su Ryan and Mu Guang are locked in. The security guards and the warden are all on the training ground. They have enough food supplies to last them a month and the privacy of the house to do whatever they like to each other. 3 days later, Mu Guang wants to do more than just have sex against Su Ryan's wishes. In the process of retrieving his clothes, he accidentally breaks the commander's figurine. Su Ryan tries to call the authorities, but Mu Guang fights back. They have each other in a chokehold when Su Ryan admits she'd purposely put the figure in his clothes, so it would break when he tries to retrieve his clothes. Su Ryan proposes marriage. It's impossible, but they both entertain the idea. Su Ryan won't forget Mu Guang, and to prove so, she breaks the commander's portrait that hangs over her bed. Now they've both broken something that belongs to the commander. They start tearing the house apart, trying to prove which one of them is a greater anti-revolutionist.
Whoa, alright. This is spiraling out of control, bro. When he gets back, the commander's about to crash out. Why are you doing this, bruh? It's already bad enough what's happened so far. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, though, you know, I get how he's gotten to the situation because, I mean, he was forced, kind of, you know. But this, no. Now you're going crazy.
Unfortunately, a soldier is spying on them through the window while they act up. After he's seen enough, he runs off.
Oh.
Su Ryan picks up the plaque, but that's where Mu Guang draws the line. So she can spare it, he concedes, and agrees to name her the greater anti-revolutionist. He also has to confess that her love for him is greater and stronger than his love for her. Mu Guang is out in the fields, distracted by the moon. Su Ryan joins him with a plate of food, and they lie on a blanket facing the stars. She confesses that she might be pregnant. She's not sure, but it does nothing to quell Mu Guang's panic. Commander P will return home the following day, and it's obvious Mu Guang is terrified. He wants to go home to his family, and Su Ryan promises to make that happen. The affair will stay a secret, and he can return home. But when he leaves, he has to stay home until he gets a letter from the base. It's their last night together, so she expects it to be memorable. By morning, the truck is waiting for Mu Guang. He wonders if he'll ever see his Noonim again. On his way out, he sees Commander Pai returning. Commander Pai meets his house in disarray with his wife waiting for him at the top of the stairs. Mu Guang goes home. It's been 5 years, and he's still not an officer. It's the perfect excuse to abstain from his wife because he'd sworn to her in blood that he would get promoted after just 6 months. Mu Guang eagerly waits for a letter or a telegram that isn't coming. It starts to drive him crazy, and he takes it out on his son one fateful day. His vacation is over, but he hasn't been called back to base. His father-in-law calls him a failure and regrets giving his daughter to him. Mu Guang returns to base without being called. During the commander's military talks, South Korean soldiers brutally attacked 2 U.S. soldiers. The fallout is severe. The commander's division is being dissolved, but the commander will be promoted. That explains why the barracks are empty. The soldiers weren't on the training ground. They were laid off, including the warden. Mu Guang can kiss that promotion goodbye. Mu Guang becomes erratic even after he's warned to stay away from the commander's residence. The commander knows about the affair, but chooses to spare him. The warden shows up with good news. Thanks to Su Ryan, Mu Guang and his family will work at the largest electricity plant in the city. He will manage the plant and must report to his new station in 2 days. Mu Guang is honored with an award and celebrated by his comrades. On his way to his new assignment, Mu Guang, clearly obsessed, wants to return to the lion's den. His warden, none the wiser, thinks it's harmless if he salutes the commander one last time. Plot twist, the warden knew all along.
Oh, nah, bruh. Bro, you got out. I get it. But you out. Like, you have your way out. Like, they should have cooked you, but you made it. Don't go back to, we'll see.
Exchange for his silence, he asks Mu Guang to put in a good word for him. The warden is facing discharge, just shy of becoming a battalion warden. He needs that promotion for his family. Su Ryan is heavily pregnant and tells Mu Guang to inform the warden that while she can't stop him from getting discharged, he should come to her for help afterward. On their way back to the truck, Commander Pai, who's been watching them from the window upstairs, fires several rounds. 15 years later, Mu Guang is managing the plant. He leaves work one day and goes to see Su Ryan. She leaves him hanging by the door, sending him a note through the soldier on guard. Pissed, he returns the plaque she gave to him years ago and walks away.
Wait a minute.
Charlie,
Hold on, y'all. My bad. Wait. So who died? What? Who died? If he shot several rounds, he killed the warden? Bruh, I don't know. They gotta wrap these things up. I said, who died? Anyway, though, but yeah, that's crazy. Being forced. This guy, he got a way out, man. He was out, bruh. He was good. Just couldn't help himself. Had to go back. Final thoughts on this. It's kind of unrealistic in the way of nowadays, because a lot of times if you're attractive woman, you ain't got to force nobody, like, unless it's somebody like high caliber, I believe, you know what I'm saying? If it's like a lower dude, you know what I'm saying? Oftentimes you ain't got to force it. But what do I know? Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe, man. I appreciate y'all, and peace.